Bibles with you, I want you to open up to the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, starting at the 33rd verse. I'm actually going to take our theme scripture, designed, not destroyed. We're going to read from that. When everybody has it, if you can and you say, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Romans chapter 8. Verses 35 through 37. Everybody have it? Amen. Good. Praise the Lord. I first want to give an honor to Christ, my pastor, my wife, my mysterious dad, and my family and friends. Let us read. It says, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just come to you thanking you for today, God. We thank you for bringing us to this point where we are, Lord, and giving us breath, and giving us eyes, and giving us ears to hear your word, God. I pray right now that you just endow me with the ability to teach and preach your word exactly how it's given unto me, God. That everything is just stored upon my mind and within my heart to preach it, God. I thank you for the opportunity, and I pray that none of these words that spewed out goes over, God. So I just thank you, and I pray that in Jesus' name, amen. Like I said, this past month I dealt with tribulations within the family. I've been through distress. We're looking for a new place to live. The lease is up July 31st. We don't know where we're going to move, but we started packing our things. Because we know in about 30 days, we'll be leaving where we are now. So we decided to be proactive instead of just sitting idle and waiting on God to just show up. We want to set ourselves up and align ourselves with Him, so that we're not rushing to do anything. I've also been going through a famine lately. I've been at my job for almost 4 years. 4 years exactly, as a matter of fact. And my direct deposit has never been messed up except the payday this time. When it's time to bring forth a message. I looked online and said I worked 0 hours in 2 weeks. That's right. I was there every day, rushing to get to work and not before traffic. My car kind of went down and needs some repairs. It's drivable, but I'm not going to take that chance. But here in Scripture, I like the fact that Paul, he asks us a rhetorical question. He says, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? And it gives us an opportunity to self-examine. He might be talking about other people that can separate us, but we're the only ones that can separate ourselves from the love of Christ. That's why I had you take that selfie. So when you go home, I want you to self-examine yourself from where you were in the moment when you took the picture, so you can look back and see what you've been going through that allow for you to separate yourself from Christ. Because it's not Him that separates Himself from us. It's us that separates ourselves from Him. And as soon as we start to have an opinion towards Him and what we go through, is the moment that we detach ourselves. Because He was blameless. And no matter what we go through, we can't point the finger back at Him. So it's us that separates ourselves from the love of Christ. My wife introduced me, and some of y'all here and some of you all were here, and it'll be 3 months on the 6th of July. 90 days. And if you want a job, that's the probation period. You can't call off, you can't be late. But that's not how marriage works. I might have called in a couple of days where I didn't just feel like doing anything. But I'll never forget, it was a time, I think it was a month ago, I try not to keep track of it, because it was a bad day. It was a bad night, and I had her permission to share this story. What happened is none of y'all business. But I was hurt. And what we went through, or what I went through, I allowed for me to remove the love that I had for her on mine. I carried the hurt of the night before into the day after. It takes me an hour to get to work, an hour to get back home, and I worked for 8 hours, so I was gone for at least 10 hours that day. Sherelle knew that I was hurt about what happened, and the love on her end was never removed, but it was on my end. I came home to a candlelight dinner. I mean, with an appetizer, entree, tablecloth, candles. Our first dance song was playing. She did her hair. She had her lip gloss on. And I came in, and the only thing that I said was, "This is nice, but I'm hurt. I'm still hurt." So no matter what it was that she did, I was still hurt, and that's the same thing that we do with Christ. The tribulations, the distress, the peril, the death that we may face, we allow ourselves to be removed from Him because we still are hurt in the situation.
All right.
It wasn't her that per se did anything to me. It was the posture of my heart that allowed for the love to be removed on my end. We're going to do some self-examination today.
All right.
We sometimes don't know how to let go or drop it. We hear that a lot, to just drop it. But that's not one thing that we like to do. If you're taking notes, I need you to write this down. I need everybody to say that you need an energy budget.
You need an energy budget.
No, I need you to say, I need an energy budget.
I need an energy budget.
I need an energy budget. Because the situation that happened to me, it wasn't a destruction, it was a design to help me control my emotions within the marriage. Because I'm always going to do something to hurt her feelings, and she's always going to do something to hurt mine, whether or not it's intentional. That's the way that life is set up. Anytime you have a close relationship or close fellowship with somebody, somebody's going to get hurt. So when I said that you need an energy budget, I was doing research. Google is like my best friend. And I was trying to figure out why the earth never overheated. I don't know why, I just did. And I found out that the earth takes energy in by day, but it releases it by night. But it keeps some of it stored, and that's called the greenhouse effect. I know everybody heard of that, but what's so interesting about the greenhouse effect, that if it didn't exist, the earth would be too cold for life to even inhabit it. So I'm telling everybody here that you need a greenhouse effect. You need an energy budget. You need to figure out what you're going to take in by day and what you're going to release by night. But you need to also keep some of it because you need it to heat up the people around you, to increase the faith in the believers and spark conversion in the unbelievers. How can I have faith if I don't know that you went through the thing that I went through. So this nakedness, when you feel like you don't have the basic necessities to go through life, it's gonna happen. It happened to me. But I'm gonna testify because I'm gonna help somebody today. So when the nakedness came on to me, I couldn't help it. It came, I accepted it, but I took some of it and I gave it back. But I'm gonna keep some of it. Because that's my testimony that I'm gonna share. So even when the persecution comes, because it's going to happen, when you face with ill treatment that you don't deserve, the rejection that I felt on my job, when I've been to 4 or 5 interviews within the same company and I still been in the same position. The persecution, I'm going to take it in by day because I can't help it, but I'm also giving back and I'm going to keep some because this is my testimony. Because it's going to help somebody else. All right, the tribulations, I put an S on it because these never stop. These never stop. I wish I could give it back. All of them. But I'm going to get some back and keep a little bit. This is my testimony that I'm going to share with the believers to increase your faith. And I'm also share with the unbelievers so I can spark a conversion. And even when I'm faced with death, I was in a car accident in 2015. I thought I broke my finger. It took me 4 hours to get to Lansing. If anybody know how far away that is, it's an hour drive. If you speed, you can do it in 50. It took me 4 hours to get to Lansing. I thought I broke my femur, but they told me I had a broken hip. 2 days later, I was on a walker, walking. I wish that I could take it back. But I'm going to take what was given to me and what happened, but I'm going to keep it for the believers and for the unbelievers. And even in this stress, with us searching for a new home, I'm going to keep it because we haven't found the right place yet. But I'm going to give it back and I'm going to keep some because I'm going to let somebody else know that even if you got to start packing before you found the place, that you're going to find the place that you're going to move in. This is my testimony. And I'm going to keep some of it. We all hate this one. I hate it when he said I ain't work no hours. That's why I put a sad face on it. It said I work no hours. I wish that I can get his back. I wish that paycheck was in my account. But it's not. So I'm going to take the family because I know God is Jehovah Jireh. He's my way maker. And I know that somehow he's going to provide a way for me to get out of this family. So I'm going to take it because I can't help it. But I'm going to release it. But I'm going to keep some of it. Because I'm going to remember when I had nothing. That I had something. But this is what happened with some of us. This is what happened with some of us. Give me this back. Give me this back. We take the tribulation, the sword, the distress, the peril, of the nakedness, and we keep it. We don't even release it because we haven't set up an energy budget. And remember when I told you that if the greenhouse effect didn't happen, it would be too cold for life itself to exist. So what you do when you keep it is you freeze yourself. And then you look back 10, 20, 30 years and you still in the nakedness. That's a word. That's a word. You still in the family because your heart is removed from Christ because you think that it's punishment. You think it's punishment. And now you're in the family for 30 years. The distress, you can't help it, it's going to come. You keep it, you freeze When you're faced with death, you thought because you was in that car accident that your life was over. You thought that because when you was somewhere where you weren't supposed to be and it was a shootout, that life was over. A bullet didn't even hit you. But you take it, and now you're traumatized, and you're stuck, and you think that it's punishment. And now, you're stuck. You're there. The tribulations, because I told you these gonna come. I put an S on it because there's many of them. We take them all. We praise ourselves. We keep it. And we remove our love for Christ. Now we fighting the war by ourselves. Teach it. Paul said when you get dressed every day, put on the helmet of salvation. That's because he wants you to remember these things that you were saved from as a testimony. All right. You take it in by day, you release it by night, but you keep it. Because I need this for you. You need to know what I went through. Because that's going to help you. Because you're going to be faced with persecution. That distress is going to come to you. So I'm going to make sure I keep it. So I share my testimony with you. That failure is going to come. But when I get on my feet, when my paycheck comes, I got you. Because I remember when I didn't have. I remember when I didn't have no food. When I didn't have no money. So I got you. When you feel like you didn't have the basic needs of life, that's the nakedness. I got you because I kept some of it. That's my testimony. I'm going to share it with you. Because if I have the faith and if God brought me through it, He can bring you through it too. And I'm going to keep this and give it. You take some and you share it. This is your testimony. Verse 36 says, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Paul took scripture from Psalms 44 and 22. Hey, can you pull that up for me? Psalms 44, 22. And 24 also. It says, for thy sake. Whose sake? Thy sake. So not your sake do you face these things. It says for thy sake, for Christ's sake, we face these things. And the sons of Korah wrote this. It says, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. And verse 23 says, awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgettest our affliction and oppression. They said that like he forgot when he put them through. When he allowed the devil to tempt you with it. All right. Because remember, the things that you go through, he allowed it to happen. All right. Anybody felt like God was asleep and that your family lasted for 3 days? My God. My God. God is not in time. Time existed when he spoke this universe. That's when time started. He always existed and always will. The 3 days to you is a second to him. All right. I felt like that. Hey, God, when is family going to be over? When we going to find this house? When I'm going to get my car fixed? When my feelings going to stop getting hurt? When I'm going to start doing all of these things? It's been 7 months since I preached my trial sermon. This is the first time I'm back in the pulpit. For some people, that's not a long time. For me, that was a long time. I've been waiting to preach a message but it's not on my time.
All right, preacher.
I can't rush the process. You can't rush the persecution. You can't rush the family. You can't rush the peril. Because you have to go through it, not for your sake, but for his sake. Tell yourself, tell your neighbor, you need an energy budget.
Energy budget.
Tap yourself here and say, I need an energy budget.
I need an energy budget.
I need you to figure out what you're going to take in and what you're going to release. Everything that we do starts from the heart. And if love is not in it, that's bad business. I told you that. What you go through is to spark a conversion in somebody else. It's to help the believers. It's a design. It's a setup. Somebody say it's a setup. It's a setup. Jesus' greatest commission was to go and preach his word across all nations and baptize and teach the things that he taught the disciples unto everybody. The disciples didn't really face too much of anything with Jesus, but they faced it after the church was set up. If you read the book of Acts, they faced a lot. This church is named after the first martyr, St. Stephen, and Paul, who wrote 1/3 of the New Testament, approved. But he took what he went through and he converted and kept it and used it for Christ's sake.
All right.
It's not too late if you haven't given your life over to Christ. It's not too late, but I pray and I hope that you decide today that if the nakedness and the distress and the death of a family member came, that you still love him. Because even if he hadn't done anything else for you, he done enough.
Yeah.
When he did this for you, he laid on the cross for you. I want to take you to Jeremiah 29. I think y'all know what I'm going to say. So let's just turn to it. It says, some of y'all might have King James, some might have an NLT. I don't know which version you have, but I know that in the NLT version, it says, I know the plans that I have for you. Plans of good and not of evil, to give you peace and a hope for the future. The design is a plan that's produced to show the look, the function, or the workings of something before it's even built or made. So before you even was formed in your mother's womb, you had a plan for good and not for evil, because you were designed and not destroyed by the Creator. It says that we're the clay, and here he's the potter. So he made you with his delicate hands. He crafted you. It also says that when you call upon me, you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. But 13, it says, and when ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search with your what? With all your heart. With all of it. In order to hear from God, we got to have love. Our heart's got to be circumcised. It talks about that in the New Testament, that your heart needs to be circumcised in order to love. We got to let these things go. Because it's a design, right? It's a design, not destruction. Destruction comes from the enemy. It says that the definition of destruction is the process of causing so much damage to something that they can no longer exist or be repaired. You think that God, the person that created you, wants to destroy you? That's not like the enemy. He says that he wanders to and from, looking for someone to devour. That's his plan. But God's plan is to give you a hope and a future. It says it right here. He gave it to Jeremiah to give it to the people of Israel. And even Christ, in the 7th chapter of Matthew, the 24th verse, he tells us to build our house on a solid foundation. He's not talking about your physical house that you're going to go back to. He's talking about this house right here. This house. This house. You build it on a solid rock. Him, he's the solid rock. It said that Christ is the cornerstone that holds it all together. The most important piece. The whole, everything together. The whole four walls together. Your foundation needs to be love and faith in Christ. It says that we will be judged because the light came into the world, but we rejected it.
All right.
All you need is faith. The size of what? If it was in my hand, you still wouldn't even be able to see the mustard seed. That's all the faith you need in Christ. But if we look back in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, and the 37th verse. The plan. Somebody say the plan. The plan was for you to always have love for Christ. For you to always place your faith in Him. Because it says, nay, in all these things that we go through, the persecution, the tribulation, the distress, the famine, all these things that we go through, we're more than conquerors. In the Greek context, this is the highest level of victory.
All right.
The highest level of victory. He says that we're more than conquerors through Him that loved us. Through Him. And when you go through Him, you got to know His heart. You got to know His unfailing love. One of His attributes is that He's immutable. He's intangible. The same God that He was yesterday is the same God He is today. The same God that He was when He was on the cross is the same God that He is today. But the good thing is, He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they've done. But I need you to forgive yourself for removing the love from them.